ओके सो हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, कैसे हो आप लोग? आई होप आप लोगों का प्रिपरेशन काफी अच्छा चल रहा होगा क्योंकि एग्जाम आ चुका है। तो जरा हम लोग यहाँ पे देख लेते हैं कि हमारे पास कुछ अच्छा खबर है आप सबके लिए। ये पहले भी मैंने अनाउंस किया था कि जो जो भी बच्चे CSIR नेट 2024 के लिए प्रिपरेशन ले रहे हैं जून के एग्जाम के लिए बेसिकली, तो उन लोगों के लिए जो पूरा कोर्स है फिजिकल साइंस का, जिसका कॉस्ट आता है 33,999, दैट होल कोर्स इज नाउ अवेलेबल टू यू जस्ट एट अ प्राइस ऑफ 10,155. It's a limited time offer. All you have to do to get this discount is to use the promo code that is Sourav, Sourav, Sourav. So, which is my name, of course. So, by using that promo code, you can get this discount. So, do hurry up. Again, I'm repeating the statement that it's a limited time offer. So, it's very short period of time is there. So, do hurry up, otherwise you will miss it. Secondly, there is a mega scholarship test which is going to happen on 17th of December from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. So it's a like a scholarship test to provide you scholarships. So if you pass this test with a good rank, then 100% up to 100% scholarship will be provided from the side of test books. That means the whole course can be made free for you. Okay, so do register now. And of course, 40% scholarship is guaranteed. Like you will definitely get 40% of scholarship if you appear in the tests. But if you just get a good rank or something, then definitely 100% scholarship will be uh, ensured. Now, please come to this part. This is a question from Griffiths. It's a very good question. What does this question say? We will read first. The problem says that an electron is at rest in an oscillating magnetic field. The magnetic field is actually oscillating. The magnetic field is not at like constant value. It is oscillating, right? So B and omega are basically constants. First question is that construct the Hamiltonian matrix for this system. Construct the Hamiltonian matrix for the system. That's what they have asked. Construct the Hamiltonian matrix for the system. Second question, this is the electron starts out at, okay, fine. So whatever they are saying, we will do like that. B equals to B naught plus omega t. Fine. So I know that magnetic field B is equals to B naught sine omega t kk. Now I know that the Hamiltonian, which is the interaction energy of an electron, which has a magnetic dipole, spin magnetic dipole, placed in external magnetic field B, given by negative of mu s dot b. What is mu s? Minus gamma into s vector operator dot b vector. Now you know that b is along k cap, so it will be equals to minus gamma b naught sine omega t into sz cap. It's an operator. Now I know that sz cap has eigenvalues plus minus h cap by 2, and eigenvectors are basically up z and down z. I know that if A is a matrix having eigenvalues lambda 1 and lambda 2 with eigenvectors psi 1 and psi 2, and I have another matrix K into A, so for K into A, the eigenvalues will be K lambda 1, K lambda 2, and eigenvectors will be same as psi 1 and psi 2. So if after this part it's clear, then definitely you can answer this question that for spin operator Sz, you know the eigenvalues and eigenvectors. So you can find out the eigenvalues and eigenvectors of the Hamiltonian operator. Therefore, E up, when the spin of the particle is up, is given by plus h cut by 2, that is minus gamma b naught h cut sine omega t by 2. And the corresponding state is up z, which you all know, that is 1 0. And E down, like when the spin is in the minus z, the spin projection along the z axis along the minus z axis, that is it should be minus h cut by 2. That's why it will be gamma b naught h cut sine of omega t divided by, I can say, 2, right? So this thing is clear, and of course the energy eigenstate will be it will be down z, that means 0 0 1. So basically, what will be my Hamiltonian matrix? If I write down the Hamiltonian the matrix, it will be equals to H cap, can be written as minus gamma b naught sine of omega t is z, the matrix representation is h cut by 2, 0, 0, 1 minus 0, 0, 1 minus 1. That's all I can say. 0, 0, 1 minus 1. So these are basically the matrix representation of my Hamiltonian. I know the eigenvalues and the eigenvectors. Very good. Now, what can I say? What's the next question they have asked? They say that the electron starts out at t equal to 0 in the spin up state. Okay, in the spin up state with respect to x axis. That means at t equal to 0, the wave function of the electron psi at t equal to 0 is actually equals to spin up state along the x axis, which we know 1 by root 2 in the basis of s square xz 1 1. Then they have said determine x of t, I mean psi accelerated instant of time t at any subsequent time. And this is time dependent Hamiltonian. This Hamiltonian is basically time dependent. So you cannot get x of t in the usual way from the stationary states. So fortunately, this can be, for this problem, the Schrodinger can be solved. You can solve the time dependent Schrodinger equation directly. So basically, you cannot write the state at some later instant of time as, like, you cannot just do this, that up x psi at t equals 3 will write c1 up z plus c2 down z, because these two are energy eigenvectors, and then you will say at time t it is c1 up z to the power of minus I e up t by h cut plus c2 down z e to the power of minus I e down t by h cut. You cannot write this. You cannot write this. Because the Hamiltonian is not time independent. It's not a conservative system. Only for conservative system you can write the stationary state. So don't forget. This is the time dependent Hamiltonian, so you have to solve the Schrodinger equation from beginning. How? So we all know that h cap psi, the most general Schrodinger equation, psi of t is actually is equals to partial differentiation with respect to t into psi of t. We all know this. So if we know this, then fine, we have something to say. If we know this, then it's fine. Then tell me what will be my psi of t. Psi of t is equals to h cap psi of t into dt. Okay. That's all I can say. I can write it as h cap psi of t into dt. That's all I can say. So you know the value of h cap, that is gamma b naught h cut by 2. Suppose my psi of t, I'm just writing it, is my AB, okay, which can be function of time. Of course, these are function of time. So I can write h cap into AB should be equals to partial differentiation term A dot B dot, no issue in that. Now h cap into AB, I'm saying that h cap is basically this thing, right? This thing. I'm saying gamma b naught h cut by 2 is my alpha, or gamma b naught h cut by 2 is zeta. Suppose the minus zeta sine omega t into, let's say, gamma b naught h cut by 2 is my zeta. Suppose. So this thing can also get written as like minus zeta sine omega t into 1 0 0 minus 1 to minus zeta sine omega t into 1 0 0 minus 1 into AB should be equals to your A dot and B dot, brother. Very good. Now if you do the multiplication, you will get A and you will get minus B, and this minus sign you can take inside. So zeta into sine omega t and minus A and then B is actually your A dot and B dot. That's very good. Now you see, I can, from here I can write the ddt of A. ddt of A is basically equals to what? From here A dot equals to what? Minus zeta sine omega t into A. Minus A zeta sine omega t what I can do, I can just put dA by A. I can just put dA divided by A. dA divided by A. It is minus zeta sine omega t into dt. Integration dA by A means ln of A. That is sine omega t integration is always minus cos omega t by omega. Minus will be plus zeta cos omega t divided by omega. Cos omega t divided by omega. We know this. Zeta cos omega t divided by omega. We know this. Now, if this part is known, so ln of A equal to this. I know this. ln of A. So A should be equals to this is sine omega t dt. So from here I can get the value of A, which is exponential of this thing. Okay, there is one more thing. You see, B dot is equals to zeta sine omega t into B. I know that B dot equal to zeta sine omega t into B. That means dB by B equals to zeta sine omega t into dt. Right? If I do the integration, I'm gonna get dB by B is equals to ln of B. That is actually equals to minus zeta cos omega t divided by omega. So here also I have got minus, here also I have got minus. So I know that the value of A can be written in a different way for this case. I can write the value of A is exponential of zeta by omega into cos omega t. And here I can write B as exponential of minus zeta by omega into cos of omega t. That's right. So I can say therefore psi at time t can just be written as, okay, if I say zeta by omega cos omega t is my alpha, so e to the power of alpha e to the power of minus alpha. ठीक है, अगर ये चीज आता है उसके बाद क्या कहा गया है इस क्वेश्चन में? इस क्वेश्चन में कहा गया है कि फाइंड द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ गेटिंग माइनस h squared by 2 if you measure s6. Find the probability of getting minus h squared if you measure s6. So now I can say if you measure s6 when the system is in state psi of t, which is e to the power of alpha into e to the power of minus alpha, then probability of getting s6 equals to minus h squared by 2. That means probability will be equals to of getting the state up x, sorry, down x will be equals to down x psi of t mod square by psi of t psi of t. By psi of t. There is an I also basically, that but I have missed it from here. That is IH plus partial differentiation of psi with respect to t has been missed out from here. So that thing should also be there. That h cap AB, h cap is minus zeta into sine of omega t, minus zeta into sine omega t into this thing. Okay, so now this thing is equals to, this is A and minus B, so minus A into B should be equals to IH cross into this. There should be IH cross. So I can say that di dt, dt of A, so there should be an IH cross. If I have this thing over here, so this thing can come in the downside. So I can write this as IH cross can come over here. If I multiply I and I in the numerator and denominator, so it will become equals to I and I, so max and late cancelled out. So ऊपर में I हो जाएगा. I'll get an I by H. I get an I by H cut. So basically after the integration it will be I zeta divided by H cut. And when I do the ln of is equals to e to the power of this thing, it will be I zeta by omega into H cut. By omega into H. That thing I will get. There should be some integration constant actually. That constant has to be determined from that value. But fine, we can just do it later also. At t equal to 0, it was basically 0. When I'm saying t equal to 0, there is some constant, okay? There is some constant c naught. C naught. Now, I know that at t equal to 0, psi of t was equals to 1 by root 2, 1, 1. So it was 1 by root 2. If it was 1 by root 2, t equal to 0 here, positive value 1. So exponential of I zeta by omega h cut plus something equals to 1 by root 2. So you can take zeta is basically what? Zeta is basically gamma b naught h cut by 2. Gamma b naught h cut by 2. Zeta is basically gamma b naught h cut divided by 2. I can write omega h cut, h cut, it cancels out. So gamma b naught by 2 omega can be taken as 1 by root 2. So this thing shouldn't have to be done separately. So A is equals to this thing, I can say. If A is this and B is this, then I think okay, A is this, which one is A? I omega by I zeta by omega h cut. Similarly over here also, here I have an I h cut, which will come here, I h cut minus I by h cut. Fine, so it will be minus. After integration, you are getting a minus. This will be plus I by h cut, isn't it? If I multiply I on this side and this side for this integration, it will be simply I by h minus and minus cancels out. So I by h is after integration from sin omega t, I'll get a minus. As soon as sin omega t does the integration, I'll get a minus. So here will be a minus. So minus I zeta by omega into h cut. This thing is getting. This thing I'm getting. Similarly over here also you can see that dBdt. So there is an I. So if you multiply I on both sides, I get an I and this is a minus. Minus come here. After integration, you get an I. Minus sign. So this minus minus plus. So I by h cut omega. So the I zeta by omega into h. Now you can see it should be equals to 1 by root 2 because otherwise it won't be normalized. As zeta star zeta would become equals to 1 plus minus 2. So 1 by root 2 has to be there. Fine. I'm taking I zeta. I'm taking zeta by omega into h cut. Omega h cut cos omega t is equals to alpha. So in that case, it is becoming I into cos omega t zeta by omega h. So it is e to the power of b is e to the power of I into alpha and a is e to the power of minus I into alpha. So you see minus I alpha, it's simply I alpha. It's simply I alpha. Now if I check 1 by root 2 of course. Now if I check this thing, what it will provide me? Down x means 1 by root 2, 1 minus 1. And psi of t means 1 by root 2 psi of t, that is e to the power of minus I alpha e to the power of I alpha. So do the multiplication and then do the mod square. Tell me what you will get. Sir, 1 by root 2, 1 by root 2 is half. Good. Then this is my e to the power of minus I alpha plus minus minus to the power of I alpha. This thing mod square. What I'm getting? Acha, e to the power of minus I alpha means cos alpha minus I sin alpha. This thing negative of cos alpha plus I sin alpha. What will happen? Cos alpha cancels out, and you'll get minus 2I sin alpha. You'll get minus 2I sin alpha. So here you will get minus 2I sin alpha. So 2 to cancel out. So minus I sin alpha. Minus I sin of alpha mod square, which will actually, it's just mod of this means just the value. Simply sin square alpha. Sin square alpha. Now I think I know the value of alpha. Alpha is basically zeta by omega h cut cos omega t. So it will take some sin alpha square alpha is sin square zeta by omega h cut into cos omega t. But sir, zeta, the value of zeta is something different. The value of zeta I have taken here as gamma b naught h cut by 2. Very good. So I can write it as sin square. Zeta I have taken as gamma b naught h cut by 2. There is omega h cut. So it's here cancel. It's gamma b naught by 2 omega. By 2 omega into cos of omega t. So that is what my probability is. Gamma b naught by 2 omega cos omega t. Sin square gamma b naught by 2 omega cos omega t. In the question it is mentioned. You see in the question sin square gamma b naught by 2 omega cos omega t. In the question it is mentioned. In the question we have said sin square gamma b naught by 2 omega sin omega t. We have got what? Probability of getting minus h cut by 2, right? Gamma b naught by 2 omega sin omega t. Here we have got what? We have got cos omega t, okay? So might be there is some problem. The sign, the integration should be cos, no doubt. But you know, where does the sin omega t comes from? Okay, tell me one thing. Acha, it was b naught cos omega t, right? It was b naught cos omega t. We have written b naught sin omega t. That's why there is a change in answer. Otherwise, it's fine. So if you write here it's sin, no issues. You can do the problem once again. No issues. You can just change all the sign with cos. If you write cos omega t, then this thing will be equals to cos. 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 Here it will be cos. Cos. If this is cos, so then in here this two thing will be cos. And here also it's cos. So if it's cos omega t after the integration, there won't be any negative sign. So my I into I minus I by x will be positive. So after the integration, this is cos. After the integration, it will remain positive. So I zeta by h cut into cos omega t by omega. So this will be positive. Similarly here, it was cos. Again, it was cos. 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 So if you do the integration, it will be minus I by h cut minus cos, then it will be sin. It will be sin. After cos integration, it will be sin. It will be sin. Fine. Then you can write here it's sin. So minus I zeta by this. So this is A is positive, B is negative. So make it positive. This one is negative. Plus I alpha minus I alpha. Plus I alpha minus I alpha. Then if I do this plus I alpha and minus alpha, what changes it's bringing you? E to the power of I alpha minus to the power of minus I alpha. E to the power of I alpha मतलब cos alpha plus I sin alpha minus cos alpha minus I sin alpha. So what I'm getting, see this and this cancelling out. So 2I sin alpha, 2 cancel out. So I'm getting simply I sin alpha. Getting simply plus I sin alpha mod sin square alpha. And alpha is basically I know sin omega t. Zeta by omega t. This is sin omega t, sin omega t. Done. Sine omega t, sine omega t. I think now it's clear. Sine square now be not by 2 omega sine omega t. Sine square now be not by 2 omega sine omega t. So this was the question which was given to you. Now let's go for another important question. Okay, there is another interesting question. I'm giving you the question. Please tell me what will be the answer. So the question says that the Hamiltonian of a spin half particle in a magnetic field B, the Hamiltonian of a spin half particle in a magnetic field B is given by H minus mu B dot sigma is given by minus mu H equal to minus mu B dot sigma, where mu is the real constant, sigma is the polymetric system. Now, if sigma is the polymetric, then B to you. Now, mu is the real constant. If B is equals to B naught, comma B naught, comma 0, and speed state at time t equal to 0 is minus 2 sigma, and speed state at time t equal to 0 is an eigenstate of sigma x. Then of the expectation values, then of the expectation values, only sigma x changes with time, only sigma x changes with time. It's a very tough question. See, only sigma z changes with time. Only sigma y changes with time. Expectation value of sigma y changes with time. And option D. All three change with time. All three change with time. Can you solve this question? सर हमारा मैग्नेटिक फील्ड है बी नॉट जीरो राइट और सर हमारा हैमिल्टनियन है माइनस म्यू बी डॉट से बड़ी अच्छी बात है तो हैमिल्टनियन है माइनस म्यू इनटू बी डॉट सिग्मा माइनस म्यू बी इज इक्वल्स टू b naught I cap plus b naught j cap plus 0 k cap. So this is it. Minus mu into b naught into sigma x plus b naught into sigma y. That's all I can get. It's my value. This is my Hamiltonian. This is my Hamiltonian. This is my Hamiltonian, which can be written as. Okay, now there's okay. They say at speed state at time t equal to 0 is 9 instead of sigma x. I have a state which is eigenvalue. The expectation value this changes with time. So I can say that initially the state is an eigenstate of sigma. I can say that I don't know how it would look, but this can be done in a much easier manner. You see, we can just put ddt of expectation value of sigma x. If I do that, what values I will get? 1 by IH cut. Expectation of commutator of sigma x comma Hamiltonian plus expectation of partial differentiation of sigma x with respect to this. Sigma x doesn't depend explicitly on time, so this factor will be 0. And from here I can write 1 by IH cut sigma x with the Hamiltonian will give me sigma x with sigma x, that is 0, sigma x with sigma y. Sigma y is, what is it? Sigma x comma sigma y. Can be sigma x can be written as 2 by h cut sx comma this can be written as 2 by h cut sy. Now this thing you can take common 4 by h cut square sx comma sy. Sx comma sy is equals to I h cross sz. So h cross will get cancelled out. And I'm simply getting 4I sz. Sz is equals to what? 4I sz equals to h cut by 2 into sigma z. This 2 cancelled out. So I'm getting 2I h cut sigma x. 2I h cut sigma x. 2I h cut sigma x. Good. 2i h cut sigma x. Fine. So sigma x with sigma x coming to 0, sigma x with sigma y is 2i h cut sigma x. So I'm gonna write expectation of minus mu b naught 2i h cut sigma x 2i h cut sigma x 2i h cut sigma x. That's all. 2i h cut sigma x. That's all I can say. Sigma x with sigma y, 2i h cut sigma x, very good. No, sorry, 2i h cut sigma x with y means sigma z. 2i h cut sigma z. Then here I'm getting the b naught and mu and other negative signs. So this is what I'm getting. Now you see I h cut will be cancelled out, and I can take minus 2 b naught mu minus 2 b naught mu minus 2 b naught mu. I h cut cancels out into expectation value of sigma z that I can write. Good. Then ddt of expectation value of sigma y, that should be equals to what? 1 by IH cut expectation commutated sigma y comma h cap plus expectation partial differentiation of sigma y with expected t. Now you see 1 by IH cut sigma y, I'm doing with x, sigma y with sigma x will give me something. But sigma y with sigma y is 0. Sigma y with sigma x will give me minus 2i h cut into sigma y with sigma x. Sigma y with sigma x. That is 2 by h cut sy by 2 by h cut sx. So 4 by h cut square sy sx. Now sy sx is IH plus sz minus IH plus sz. That is 4 by h plus square. So 8 से एक 8 चला गया है. sz is equals to h cut by 2 sigma z. तो इससे ये भी चला जाएगा. 2 से इसको काट दे रहा हूँ तो 2 आ गया. So minus 2i sigma z. यहाँ पे सिर्फ 2 आया है, h कट नहीं है. यहाँ पे जो मेरा था, यहाँ पे पहले हम लोगों ने किया था सिग्मा एक्स के साथ सिग्मा वाई का. तुम किसी का भी कर लो. तुम यहाँ से देखो सिग्मा एक्स के साथ सिग्मा वाई का कर लो. सिग्मा एक्स मतलब h कट बाई 2 सिग्मा एक्स इज इक्वल टू 2 by h cut sx 2 by h cut sy. You can take 4 by h cut square बाहर s is h plus sz. sz equals to h cut by 2 sigma z. So you see IH plus 4 by h cut square. So h cut square cancels out. 2 say 2. So it's 2i sigma x only. 2i sigma x only. There will be an h cut. Similarly over here, it will be minus mu b naught sigma y with sigma x is equals to minus 2i sigma z sigma z. Fine. Minus minus plus Mu b naught will come outside, I can be cancelled out, so mu b naught by h cut, there is a 2, this will be expectation value of sigma z. This thing is done. Okay. So ddt of sigma y is equals to 2 mu naught mu into b naught by h cut into sigma z, and ddt of expectation value of sigma x is equals to minus 2 b naught mu divided by h cut into sigma z. It's a good one. What can I get by ddt of sigma z 1 by I h cut sigma z with Hamiltonian? Of course, plus expectation value of partial derivative of sigma z with respect to t. This one is 0. Acha, the Hamiltonian is mu b naught. Negative of mu b naught sigma x plus minus mu b naught sigma z comma sigma x plus sigma y. So minus mu b naught by I h cross sigma z with sigma x gives you x y z. Sigma z with sigma x gives you 2y sigma y. Sigma z with sigma y gives you minus 2y sigma x. Sigma x. Fine. This thing is what I'm getting. You can take 2y common. So minus 2 mu b naught by, okay, I cancel out by h cut. Sigma, okay, if I just put the minus sign inside, so it will be sigma x minus sigma y expectation value. Combinatorial expectation, this is simply an expectation value. So that's what I have got. Now if I do ddt again, d2 sigma y dt2 equals to 2 mu naught p naught h cut into sigma ddt of sigma z, which is this thing. So I will get a function over, I don't know, like if I do it again, that d2 sigma x dt2, what it will be. If I do d2 expectation value of sigma x dt2, d2 sigma x dt2, that will be something. Here I have d2 sigma x dt2, that is minus 2 b naught mu by h cut, minus 2 b naught mu by h cut, minus 2 b naught mu by h cut ddt of expectation value of sigma z. This thing we know as derivative expectation value of sigma z is what? Okay, I don't think so. By this way, we will be getting anything. Do one thing, do just ddt of that thing, see what you get. Therefore, d2 sigma z expectation value dt2, what you will get, if I do double differentiation of this, I'll get 2 mu naught b naught by h cut, 2 mu naught b naught by h cut, and I'm going to get ddt of sigma x expectation minus ddt of sigma y expectation. Good. Now sigma x dt of sigma x expectation is what? Minus 2 p naught mu by h cut minus 2 p naught by h cut expectation of sigma z minus dt of sigma y expectation means 2 p naught mu by h cut sigma z. 2 p naught mu by h cut expectation of sigma z. 2 mu naught v naught by h cut. Okay, fine. So you see 2 v naught v naught by h cut I can take in common. So it will be 4 mu naught square v naught square by h cut square. And actually 2 b naught mu naught by h cut sigma z minus. So it's basically twice of this, 4. It's 4 into 2 is 8. Expectation value of sigma z. And you are getting this square expectation value of sigma z. So if I have this formula is d2y dt2 or d2y dx2 omega square x. So this function is d2 by dt2 omega. Okay, fine. It's looking like this, so I can write down e to the power of minus omega t. You see, it's a time-dependent function, right? Sigma z expectation is a time-dependent function. If sigma z expectation is a time-dependent function, then rate of change of this. What was the question? Only sigma x changes with time. If sigma x changes with time, so ddt of sigma x should be non-zero. Derivative of sigma y should be non-zero, derivative of sigma z should be non-zero. So here you can see derivative of sigma x is this, where this is a time-dependent function and non-zero. So that's why it will be what? It will change with time. Here it will change with time. Here also it will change with time. So all changes with time. All changes with time. Therefore, all like expectation of sigma x, expectation of sigma y, expectation of sigma z changes with time. It's a very important question. This is a question which came on CSIR. It's a question from CSIR June 18. And it's a very important and very, very important question. This is CSIR June 18. It's a very important question. These sort of questions you can always expect for your exams. Now, you people tell me if you have any questions, you can, or any doubts. Okay, there is a student. Actually, I was not reading the comments. Yeah, fresh gum race. Okay. So tell me if you have any doubt, any questions, so I can address that. Yeah. I was actually solving that question, so I was not going to the comment section. Comment section, I had to go for a different tab, so I didn't check that. Tell me if you have any questions. Tell me. Okay then. we can sign off.